This is the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Your spotlight on the University of North Alabama, featuring conversations with UNA officials and friends of the university. This is your look inside campus. Now your host, the voice of the Lions, Benjamin Ray.
You're listening to the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Your spotlight, an inside look at the University of North Alabama. I'm Benjamin Ray, back with you on this football Saturday. North Alabama hosts Charleston Southern coming up in just a little bit, a 2:05 p.m. kickoff. We've got a lot in store for this Purple and Gold Hour. First, let's talk some UNA football. UNA is coming off of a homecoming win over Robert Morris. Lions picked up their first win of the season, 42-31 last week. The star inside of Brawley Stadium, redshirt freshman Parker Driggers. He rushed for 145 yards and 3 touchdowns, and I wanted to bring up Parker in the open to talk about this. He had a 99-yard touchdown run, which set a new UNA Big South Conference record, and it tied the all-time NCAA collegiate record with a 99-yard touchdown run. We talk about records being made to be broken. Think about this. This record will stand forever. You can't have a run longer than that. In the Purple and Gold Hour, we're talking about a UNA football player that has made NCAA football history, a run that he will remember forever. Just a redshirt freshman, he's got 3 more years of football to go after this season. So what's in store in this episode of the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation? Well, we're talking UNA admissions. We'll be able to chat with Julie Taylor, the Executive Director for Admissions and Enrollment Innovation at UNA, and Jill Chambers, the Associate Director of Admissions. They're going to fill us with information about campus tours, things to know about the University of North Alabama, and take out your pocketbooks and write it down. Preview Day, November 13th, UNA hosts Kennesaw State in football, a 2 p.m. kick. It's a jam-packed Saturday, UNA's final home game. Prospective students, parents, they can come tour campus, find out more information about the offerings of the University of North Alabama. That will be a big day. They'll give us plenty of information coming up in just a little bit. Also stopping by, we'll hear from UNA head softball coach Ashley Cozart and former softball player turned recruiter for the University of North Alabama and Courtney Shields. The Lions are set to have a softball national championship reunion this afternoon inside of Brawley Stadium. The 2016 softball team won the national championship on way to breaking or tying 30 team and individual records at the single season and career levels. They won 60 games that season. That was a school record. We'll talk to them about that national championship run, some of their memories, and we'll tease some of the players coming back. I believe all the starters are coming back. It's pretty phenomenal to have all of them back on campus. And of course, Megan Dye stops by as well, Associate Athletic Director at the University of North Alabama, to talk about the football locker room renovation project and some other things happening within the university. So let's jump into it. This is the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation.
My whole life has been about making an impact. Not just on the field, but in the world around me. My high school Spanish teacher helped me find my true calling to educate and serve others all over the world. I used to think the biggest college was the best place to start, but my search brought me to North Alabama. At UNA, my story matters, and so does my calling.
I realized that there was a lot of just business, just the day-to-day business of the chamber that I did not feel particularly comfortable in. There was an opportunity at UNA to pursue my MBA and thought that it might be a really good idea just to bolster that side of my education. Professors were so understanding and willing to work with us. I realized then I had made the right choice, that UNA was the correct institution for me. I've never talked to anyone who's gone forward with their education who regretted that decision. It's not been easy every day, but totally worth it at all times.
Welcome back into the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Your spotlight and inside look at the University of North Alabama. I'm Benjamin Ray, back with you on a football Saturday. North Alabama getting set to host Charleston Southern. Kickoff coming up at 2:05 p.m. We have a lot of coverage to get to here in the Purple and Gold Hour before we send you to Brawley Stadium. Also, side note, UNA basketball season tickets are on sale now. Visit roarlions.com for more information or call 256-765-LION. Of course, the UNA men last year made it to the ASUN Tournament Championship, fourth year under Tony Poolholt. Jamari Blackman is back, UNA's first 1,000-point score at the Division I level. They've got a chance to make another deep run. The UNA women, they've got another exciting year coming up. You know how great Missy Tiber is, that exciting brand of basketball that they play. They can run, they can shoot. They're going to be fun to watch yet again. Let's welcome in our first guest of the show. We're talking UNA admissions with Julie Taylor, Executive Director of Admissions and Enrollment Innovation, and Jill Chambers, the Associate Director of Admissions. Thank you both for stopping by here on the Purple and Gold Hour.
Hey, thanks, Ben Ray.
Thanks for having us.
You two are both UNA graduates. So, Julie, let's start with you. Take us through your UNA career and sort of how you've gotten to this point.
Yeah, it's been a long road. Jill and I have both. Jill's been in admissions since I started, so I think she recruited me, right?
Yeah, I'm old.
Just kidding. I am from the area. UNA was not initially always on my radar, but I came and toured campus as a high school senior, met the well-known Dr. Nelson on my campus tour, and the rest is history. I started at UNA and then started working at UNA shortly after I graduated, and loved my time here at UNA and working with students.
And Jill, is your story pretty similar?
It is. I was a transfer student, though. I went to a community college. I'm from Missouri, so I played basketball in Missouri for a year.
The Roadrunners, right?
We were the Roadrunners. And then transferred to UNA, and the rest is history. Been here, got my undergrad and my grad degrees from UNA, and have loved my time in admissions.
It feels like with both of your stories in admissions, recruiting students, you guys can easily relate to students. Julie, you necessarily weren't interested at UNA. You ended up sticking around. Jill, I mean, a transfer. It seems like you guys can really connect with students that way.
For sure. We hope so. We just want UNA. We want students to find their right fit, and we feel like UNA has something for everybody. So we just try to guide students, where they find their fit.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's best to kind of see what they, how they're feeling about things, just kind of introduce them to everything that we have to offer, which is a ton of things, and then see if it's the right fit for them.
Let's talk some stuff about the office admissions, some of the great things happening here at the University of North Alabama. It's really big. UNA has seen 11 straight terms of growth. It's unbelievable how much this campus has grown. For you guys in admissions, what's it been like to see things really take off during this stretch?
Yeah, it's so exciting. And again, it's all about students and them finding their home for 4 years or 2 years or whatever that looks like. So, it's so exciting for us that we get to play a small part in the excitement happening here at UNA.
We just like to, like I said, we like to introduce them, have a lot of opportunities for them to meet with people on our campus, to let them view our beautiful campus, to let them know the things that we have to offer, whether it's scholarships, athletics, all of those things, different majors that maybe you can't find at other places, and see if we're a good fit for them.
It was recently announced by the Alabama Commission on Higher Education that UNA is the fastest growing four-year institution in the state. And again, kind of building off that has to make you guys pretty excited. I mean, what does that say about the work you guys are doing and how far UNA has come?
Yeah, I think that UNA is such an exciting place to be right now, and we have so much to offer for students, specifically for incoming students scholarship-wise. We're offering scholarships to students based off of ACT SuperScore. We're offering scholarships not based off of an ACT, just based off of high school GPA. We have some specific departmental scholarships that are huge for students, specifically CSIS, engineering, technology, and accounting. So we have lots of great opportunities for students at UNA right now.
Also, going off of that report, the university is one of 5 universities in the state to report an overall enrollment increase. 10 universities reported a decrease. How do you guys feel like UNA's been able to go against that trend and see enrollment go up?
I think one of the things, and this is something that our team has just been so amazing, departments, everyone across campus has kind of worked together with these, this during the time of COVID. We were still offering chances for students to view our campus. We were still out in the community trying to meet with students, still trying to get into schools and meeting with students and their families when it was convenient and where they were comfortable. So we were still open for business, still trying to, get the information out to students, letting them know that, hey, we're here to help you. We still want you to come to campus. So I think that was a big part of it, and I mean the whole campus worked together to accomplish that. So, I mean, kudos to everyone for that part.
Let's talk a little bit about recruiting during COVID, and I know COVID brought on a lot of change. You had to get really innovative with some of the things you guys did, especially. But how were you guys able to get people on campus necessarily when we were all trying to lie low?
Yeah, we did offer some walking tours through campus. They weren't necessarily like one-on, now that we're back to a so-called normal, we offer those one-on-one campus tours where students get that personal attention that we love to offer students who are visiting our campus. But during that time, we did some different things. Like we had walking tours where they had stops along campus where they could get some more information and talk to people in different departments and things like that. Our team, we were setting up in coffee shops. We were visiting people in the community. If, a family was like, hey, will you meet us at a restaurant? We were happy to do that. And, we're always happy to get out there and meet with prospective students and their families wherever or whenever they're comfortable.
Going back to our growth, we did see growth in our freshman class, but our growth was much larger in that we saw graduate and online programs grow too. So, for those students, we offer a first class free for any students starting in an online program here at UNA, and that was huge. So the growth has been not only at the undergraduate level, but also at the graduate level.
Let's talk about some of those new programs that we've seen across campus. What are the things that you guys are seeing that are really interesting prospective students right now?
Yeah, I would say that programmatic-wise, we have a lot of things to offer at UNA that are unique. We are offering those specific lucrative scholarships for CSIS, engineering, technology, and accounting. The first class free is very innovative for those students in an online program. Of course, our new nursing building has state-of-the-art technology, which students love to come and see. Yeah, another place where we've seen a lot of growth is in our club sports, specifically in esports and bass fishing. We're offering those students a $1,000 scholarship to come and be a part of our club sports here at UNA. So really trying to grow those unique programs.
Well, I did not know that. There's certainly something for everyone. I'm interested in this. Enrollment takes place every 8 weeks now. What exactly does that look like, and how does that work?
Yeah, it really just makes students do not have to wait to start at UNA. They can start every 8 weeks. So, if a student misses an August start, well, they can start in October. So, we're just opening up access for students to start at any time that they're ready to start.
So students can start anytime, and then you look at the online programs as well. I mean, there's something for everyone.
Yeah, and those 8-week courses really help to expedite a student's program here at UNA. So they can take 8-week courses and hopefully finish earlier and, go into the workforce.
Let's talk about scholarship opportunities. What are some ways people can go out there and find out more information about ways they can pay for their college? Paying for college can be tough, so how can we help people educate them on resources out there for them?
Yeah, we want to make that process as easy as possible. The website is a great resource, una.edu/affordable, has a listing of all scholarships for grad, online, undergraduate, freshman, transfer. It is all there for students to look at.
Let's take a timeout. We just want to continue this conversation here in just a moment. Preview Day is coming up. We want to jump into that topic and tell people about things that they need to know for that. So let's take a timeout. The coverage will continue. This is the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation.
I came and visited UNA and I saw the atmosphere and the student life, which really fit me and I knew that I would be able to do once I got here at UNA. If I had to pick one thing about UNA that made me want to come here, it would just be campus and the life that you see on campus. With UNA just being so close, that's not what I thought that I wanted. And so when I came and I realized I'm still going to have the same opportunities as someone who went to a larger university, that was one of the things that drew me in.
I realized that there was a lot of just business, just the day-to-day business of the chamber that I did not feel particularly comfortable in. There was an opportunity at UNA to pursue my MBA and thought that it might be a really good idea just to bolster that side of my education. Professors were so understanding and willing to work with us. I realized then I had made the right choice, that UNA was the correct institution for me. I've never talked to anyone who's gone forward with their education who regretted that decision. It's not been easy every day, but totally worth it at all times.
Welcome back into the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Your spotlight and inside look at the University of North Alabama. We're getting set to take on Charleston at Southern. Big South Conference play continues. A 2:05 p.m. kickoff. Seth Kane and Jacob Tucker will get you prepared here in just a little bit on the Countdown to Kickoff show. We want to remind you, too, that UNA football is raising money for a new locker room. For more information on how you can donate and get involved, visit RoarLions.com. While you're there, check out the Lions Athletic Club, the primary booster club for UNA Lion Athletics. Support from the Athletic Club provides increased scholarship opportunities, facility improvements, and operational expense support. Other benefits as well, including some ticket perks. Be sure and visit RoarLions.com to get more information. Okay, we're continuing our admissions conversation with Julie Taylor and Jill Chambers. Julie's the Executive Director, Admissions and Enrollment Innovation. Jill's the Associate Director. Preview Day coming up November 13th. UNA hosts Kennesaw State at 2 p.m. That kickoff. Let's talk Preview Day, but first I want to back up for a second. Our next segment, we're going to hear from Courtney Shields. Ashley Cozart's going to stop by as well. We're going to talk about the Softball National Championship reunion with them that's happening later this afternoon inside of Brawley Stadium. But Courtney works for you guys. She's a national champion, an All-American softball player. All of you guys are UNA graduates. Does it make it a little easier to sell UNA when you all have connections like that?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, we're able to share our UNA story, and Courtney's is so unique, and so we love having her on the team. She's a great addition, and I think she really connects well with students because she does have such a unique UNA story. So we love to have her. She's a fun one.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Preview Day now. November 13th, UNA is taking on Kennesaw State, but there's a lot happening. Jill, what's the first thing that we need to know about Preview Day?
Bringing it back.
Yeah, we're bringing it back. We're so excited to have it back this year. It's a beast to plan and all of that, but this is one of our favorite days of the year, just getting everyone on campus. I always tell students it's kind of our rah-rah day. Yeah, we get to come in and you get to see all the fun things. We love for students to come in and meet with their academic departments, and they get that chance with Preview Day. But this day you also get to see student services. You get to meet with student organizations. Our student groups are so great about coming in and getting students excited for the game. And the UNA band is going to be there with us in the morning, so hopefully we'll get to do a lot of really cool things with them. They get a chance to meet with their colleges, like I said, their academic departments. We want them to connect with them and kind of get that contact person in those areas. Campus tours are available, admissions, financial aid, the Honors College. You'll have opportunities to kind of do everything you want. It's kind of a build your own campus day without us handing you a schedule and say, okay, at this time you're going to be here and at this time you're going to be here. You can prioritize those things that you really want to see. So that's the fun thing about this, is that no one schedule is like another. Every student gets to build their day.
We also say that it's really like a high-level picture of what UNA has to offer, and we want to encourage students to come back for a more personalized visit. So they can come to Preview Day, get just a little piece of a lot of different things. but then we hope that students come back and do a more in-depth visit.
We didn't get to have preview day last year, just one home football game, COVID restrictions. My memories of preview day is the East stands just packed out with people. Do you guys have an idea of how many people typically come and what number we could expect?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of it's a large day. And that's what I tell students, be prepared for a large crowd, and that's what we love. We want our students to come in. We want them to see the football team, the band, the purple and gold everywhere. So, I mean, our numbers are already looking great for registration. We do prefer that you pre-register for this event, and you can do that on our website. But we're hoping www.una.edu/preview day is where you can register, or the admissions page. But we're hoping for a large crowd, so we're here for it.
We typically plan for about 2,000.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, on campus that day.
And you talk about a average of 8,000 at football games roughly.
Yeah.
It should be one of the larger crowds of
For
the
sure,
year,
yeah.
which is really exciting. Let's talk about the planning for preview day. You guys have had a little longer to plan this one, obviously, but how long does it take you guys to put this together?
Yeah, it's something, as soon as we finish one preview day, we're making notes for the next one. Like, next year we want to change this. So this year was very unique because we were like, okay, we want preview day back. That was one thing. Yes, it's a very busy day. It's a lot of planning. But that was one thing that we were like, man, we really, really missed preview day last year. So we started looking at it. We were still looking at, any issues that may be coming up with restrictions and things like that. But we've been very blessed on campus that things have gone very well. And we've been able to move full steam ahead with the planning of the day. So it's kind of it's an all year thing where we pull things together because we're pulling in the academic departments, we're pulling in student organizations. It's an all hands on deck day. So, and that's what we love. We want everybody to see all that we have to offer.
Yeah, we've been offering preview day for over 20 years now. Jill and I have both Jill's been here for 15 plus. I'm pulling up on my 15th year here at UNA. So Jill makes it look very easy to plan. But we do start usually right after we finish one, looking at the next year.
I know you said it's a very flexible schedule, but let's tease people. What time do they need to be here, and what can they expect upon arrival?
Yeah, we start sign-in at 8 o'clock that morning over by the soccer field next to Flowers Hall. A lot of things are going to be outside. That's where our student organizations and our student services will be set up. We're also going to have the UNA band over there that morning, so we're super excited about that as well. From 9 to 9:30, we're going to do a welcome within Flowers Hall. The president will be there. We'll have some other speakers. We'll also have the Roar, the UNA dance team, and the cheerleaders will be there to perform that morning. From 10 to noon, we typically do the academic areas where you can go meet with your college. We'll offer the admissions financial aid presentations. The Honors College will have an open house. And then we'll also have campus tours, residence hall tours, and things like that. And then we'll wrap up the day with lunch for everyone and tickets to the football game.
Yeah, let's just throw in there, too, that they get free food, they get free tickets to the football game, and then during the third quarter of the football game, we do a drawing for a one-year full tuition scholarship.
Yeah.
You just have to be present to win.
Yes.
It's that easy. Just show up.
That's right.
You're already getting 2 free things, and you got an opportunity to win a third free thing. That's great. Now, Julie, you kind of mentioned this earlier. You guys really encourage people to come back and take a campus tour individually. Why is it so important to come check out campus in that perspective?
Yeah, it's all about fit, and we want students to find their right fit. And there's no better way to know if you're going to fit in somewhere and find the right program and find all the things that you can get involved in college than to come and visit. So we highly encourage students to visit all the colleges that they're interested in. And I think the unique thing about UNA and our visits, of course, they're led by our LaGrange Society students. So you are getting a tour from a current student, not some old people like us who were here at UNA, long time ago. But you're getting a tour from a current student. They can tell you all the ins and outs of UNA. And then it is personalized. So, it's what you can see, what you want to see while you're here. It's not a large group tour. It is a personalized visit.
I think giving a campus tour would be a lot of fun. And I know you guys have given a lot of tours over the years, but what are some of the most commonly asked questions you guys get while you're leading groups?
A lot of them are like, you do not have a live line in the middle of your
Yeah.
campus. That's always one that students, if they don't know already, that's one of the first things they want to see. I mean, who doesn't want to go see Leo? I mean, he's amazing, and it's so unique to our campus. But also the new buildings, the science building is newer. We have newer residence halls. They want to see, hey, if I come here, where am I going to be living? So that's one of the biggest things that students want to see is where I'm living. We've got some new things that are coming up in the future we're super excited about. But Julie, you got anything?
I'll add something on Leo. Even working on campus, sometimes I take it for granted. And you just walk by and you hear him roaring and you realize just how majestic and amazing it is. There's a lion on campus.
Yep.
It really is something that makes it stand out. All right. I know you guys also probably have, hidden gems that you like to mention on tours. What are some things you like to pull out of your back pocket that just blow people away? Like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. I'm putting you both on the spot with this one.
I also like to mention how you can walk to downtown, and there's so many cool restaurants, cool shops, and things like that. That's something that, because when families come, when they leave, they're like, hey, where's a great place to eat lunch? And I'm like, you know what? It's steps away. You can walk right down to it. So many amazing places to go downtown, because they want to see the town, too. They want to see what does Florence and the Shoals area have to offer, and it's cool that they can walk down to something really unique and really nice.
Yeah, we usually ask students on their campus tours to share their UNA story and to be honest and truthful about what that looks like. And so, I usually tell students that I started at UNA as an aerospace engineering major.
Yes.
No, I legitimately started
that-
at UNA as an aerospace engineering
Yeah.
major, and then it was like, yeah, what am I doing? And so it's for students that aren't sure what they want to major in. It's like that's okay. You still have time
Yes.
to figure out what you
Yes.
want to do with
Just
your
get
life.
here and you can figure it out. I
That's right.
was the same way. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I got here and now somehow I'm here at UNA doing this. So if folks can't come that day, where can they learn more about UNA and see UNA's campus?
Oh, yeah. You can schedule a tour every day of the week. We also have some other Saturday tours. You can go to una.edu/visit to schedule that. And or you can also reach out to any of us directly. Courtney Shields, reach out to her. And
A national champion.
That's
There
right.
you go.
Get a tour scheduled.
All right, this has been great. Let's wrap it up. There's a lot of excitement about UNA, the record enrollment, the final year, the Division I transition. What are the things for you two that just excite you most about the direction that UNA is heading in?
Yeah, I think that, again, there's so many exciting things happening at UNA for all students, whether you're freshman transfer, looking at an online program, there really is a fit for everyone. And we just want to help students find their fit here at UNA.
Yeah, I echo that 100%. I mean, we love working here. We love getting to share something that has been a part of our lives for a long time. And students and families, when they leave campus, they're like, you know what, it has that family feel. It has people have that connection to UNA and the Shoals area. So I think once people come to visit, they'll see that we are a little gym here.
It certainly is a great place. Julie and Jill, thanks for chatting with us about the Office of Admissions.
Thanks
Thanks, Benji.
That's Julie Taylor, Executive Director, Admissions and Enrollment Innovation, and Jill Chambers, Associate Director of Admissions. We'll take another time out. When we come back, we're going to talk UNA softball. It's been 5 years since softball went out to Denver, Colorado, and won the Division II National Championship game. Head coach Ashley Cozart and the star of the show today, Miss Courtney Shields, will join us as well. This is the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation.
My whole life has been about making an impact. Not just on the field, but in the world around me. My high school Spanish teacher helped me find my true calling to educate and serve others all over the world. I used to think the biggest college was the best place to start, but my search brought me to North Alabama. At UNA, my story matters, and so does my calling.
This is the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Your spotlight and inside look at the University of North Alabama. Another football Saturday rolls around. Football hosts Charleston Southern this afternoon inside of Brawley Stadium. An early kick, 2 p.m. The countdown to kickoffs coming up next at 1 p.m. Chris Willis and company are looking to build off last week's homecoming win. It should be another great Saturday. As part of the football festivities, today's game is the Softball National Championship reunion. UNA Softball won the national championship back in 2016. Joining us next, it's head softball coach Ashley Cozart, entering her 9th season now. Coach Cozart, how exciting is it today being back at Brawley and having so many former players with you?
It's so exciting. I'm just so thankful that we have this opportunity, but to see everyone today and just reminisce, I mean, it was just an amazing part of my life, and I'll never forget it.
You have a former player with us. We'll let you introduce her, but she's from the Office of Admissions, and we're actually talking with a couple members from Office Admissions. Julie Taylor, we just had on. Jill Chambers is coming up next. We don't want to tell them this, but in athletics, this is our favorite person from Admissions. I'll let you introduce our next guest with us.
Well, she's probably my favorite person, too, of all time. I mean, I go back and look at when I started recruiting her, and I'm just so thankful that she chose us. But Courtney Shields is here with us, and I mean, what she did for us on the field is awesome, but just to see her now and what she's accomplished and, you know, to be a part of UNA and the role she's in, I always joke around and say, you know, she loved me so much she couldn't leave me. So she's still here with us, but happy to have her today.
Courtney Shields, thanks for joining us.
So excited. That was very kind words of you. So thanks.
Let's talk about your role at UNA, admissions counselor.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your areas that you're recruiting and some of the things you're doing.
So I have all of eastern Alabama. I have up to like Jackson County. I have Birmingham, Shelby, Montgomery, Auburn, and down at the very bottom of the state. I also go into Georgia, and then I have Chattanooga as well.
You're all over the place.
I am. I'm all over the place.
Now, UNA has had record enrollment, the fastest growing university in the state of Alabama, according to the Alabama Commission on Higher Ed. 11 straight terms of record enrollment. I know you guys are getting set to release this fall number, which I know is supposed to be up maybe 9,000. We shall see. But what's your recruitment pitch? Put you on the spot. You know, how do you sell UNA to high schoolers?
I usually will ask them, like, what questions. I will tell you, a lot of my area, though, I go out to, like, 2 hours plus away from Florence. So a lot of students in my area don't know about UNA. So I really just go into it like, hey, have you ever heard of the University of North Alabama? And then from there, we just start to kind of ask questions of what they want, what they're looking for, and let the university sell itself. I will say, a lot of students from my area, if I can get them to come visit, fall in love, and don't leave. So I will say if I can get them up here, then it usually sells itself.
We see that a lot. All right, guys, let's talk about the UNA Softball National Championship reunion. Hard to believe it's been, 5 years, I guess, since we were out in Denver, Colorado. You guys hoisted the trophy. Coach Cozart, we talked about the excitement. What can you tell us about the number of players coming back?
Well, we're going to have a great crowd. I think there's going to be like 40 total people, including families. And we just talked about how a lot of the girls now are married and have kids, and it's going to be exciting to meet them and see them. And, you know, that's what it's all about. That team was so special because they were themselves, and they made a name for themselves. They had their own identity. I mean, it was one of the easiest years for me as a coach because they kind of coached themselves and they were tough on themselves, but we had a lot of fun doing it too. So I'm excited about just reminiscing on those memories and joking around with the girls and just talking about what amazing things they did that year.
Courtney, how often do you get to catch up with some of your former teammates?
So I lived with one of them for a while, so that was fun. And some of them are still around the area. They coach around the area, so we get to have dinner or I'll see them. I actually played last weekend in a slow pitch tournament with Bailey Nelson. So I get to see some of them, but we will get to see some that we haven't seen since, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I've seen Hillary in like 5 years. So it's been a while, so it's exciting.
For both of you, what's it like when you get together with that bunch? Do the stories come back? What's the feeling like?
I do truly just feel like it's like we haven't left. Like it's usually we bring up things that are usually not even like on the field. It's just like memories that we have on a bus or things that were happening like outside of the actual softball field that we get to talk about.
I think what I love about it most, and this happened a lot, is we're a lot more honest with each other. You know, sometimes we'll go out to eat and they'll be like, Cozart, when you did this, and I'm like, no, I did not do that. You know, like they put things in my mouth. They say I say certain things, but we just laugh. And then, I'll joke around with Courtney about her, outfield skills and how, sometimes I'd give her a sign and she'd miss it or, and so it's just fun because we can still be ourselves and we pick right back up. But definitely very honest with each other. We'll go back and give each other a hard time.
She likes to forget all the things that it's usually about honesty about her where it's like, oh, we couldn't tell you then, but we'll tell you now some of the things that weren't so great here.
Hey, did you win?
Yes,
Yeah.
we did.
Yeah,
No,
And that's all that matters. Let's talk about some of those great memories. Courtney, your favorite moment from that season?
I'll be honest. I think it has to be the conference championship against, Valdosta. I was going to say Valdosta, but Valdosta. It was a great moment because we had played, just in my time, Valdosta was one of our, tough competitors. And so for that, also I just remember that day, it rained so terribly. And that was when our field pulled back there in right field, and we had to spend that whole morning, squeegeeing and filling up buckets and throwing up water. And I remember their coach just, walking around our outfield and basically saying that the field was not up to par and that we shouldn't play, and we ended up playing. And then it was just so good to go through that and have that one inning that was like, this is in your face. Here you go.
What was it, 17 runs
18.
in the inning?
I was about to say, I think it's
runs.
18.
It was very remarkable, Coach Cozart.
I think mine was the region, the Super Region Championship game against Rollins, because you're so close and you're like, we've done all this all year and played amazing and had this great season. It's like, man, can we just win these 2 games to get there? And I just remember the crowd when I went up to home plate, and the coach was like, do any of your fans have real jobs? They were all there, and we just packed it out. And, wow, just the crowd. And I just will never forget that night or the next day when we're making the flight reservations, and all of our girls, small town girls, were like, Coach, I gotta fly. They were just worried about that, and we're about to go, compete for a national championship, and they're worried about the flight. So I think in just that, and then of course, just the experience getting there, all of our fans that were there, and just the bat dance, the games that we played, and so it was just, wow, it's just great. But definitely the Super Regional.
I had put down to talk about the Super Regional. 822 people. I love the overhead drone shot. It is packed out. Courtney, what do you remember about playing in front of that crowd?
I don't think I even remember seeing the crowd. I knew that we had a bunch of people that come out, but you see that photo that went around of the drone shot, and it was like, holy cow, the amount of people. But on the field, I just feel like it felt like it didn't feel as large as it was at the time that we were playing, because I think we were just in the game of, hey, we got to win to keep going here. So I don't think I realized the amount of people that had come out.
You guys hosted Rollins, won game 1, so we're playing game 2 that night, and we're down 5-3 in the top of the 7th, and we're all kind of thinking, okay, we're going to come back tomorrow for game 3, and we'll see what happens. Then one of my favorite moments happens. Courtney Shields steps up. She gets on base. Brooklyn Clark, National Player of the Year, she gets on base. There's 2 outs, Coach Cozart. Harley Barkley steps up, drives the ball to the wall. I never will forget it. Do you remember waving everybody home and just the excitement and the craziness of that?
I do. And going back, I think Clark was literally at shortstop when the shortstop had the ball, and I was just going. Just something in me was just saying go. You got to put pressure on them. And so the ball ended up bouncing. Clark would have been out if it would have been a great throw, but the ball bounced a little bit before and went over the catcher's head, and Clark was safe. And so there was just something about that moment. I was just in the moment and just wanting to score so bad. But, wow, what a great moment. 2 quick outs, and then we've got 3 seniors that step up, and I think we tied the game. And so, wow, I definitely remember that. That was a great time.
Courtney, Brooklyn Clark, Harley Barkley. You mentioned Hillary Carpenter. What was it like playing with so many great players like that?
Honestly, an experience that I don't take advantage of when I get to tell people about it, because there were so many great athletes on that team. We had great coaching, but we were just all starters on there, even some that were younger and were not. But most of us were seniors that year that started, and just great athletes that came from junior college, that came there, had played there for 4 years, just all different backgrounds of softball. Some of us got to play when we were younger together. Me and Madeline had played together when we were younger, but just good athletes that it's hard to come by and have that chemistry that we had that year.
Perhaps my other favorite moment, and I know Courtney gets tired of me bringing this up, and she knows where I'm going, but you guys lost game 1 of the College World Series to Humboldt State, and the offense was the top offense in the nation, and the bats just went cold in game 1, and they have the post-game press conference, and Coach Cozart Courtney's sitting there, and she's got that look on her face, and she's just like, they didn't do anything. We didn't play well. We'll be good tomorrow. How much did that set the tone for the next day?
I mean, definitely. I mean, because, as females, we get in our head sometimes. We can get down. But just that confidence that she showed, and that's the reason she was at UNA, is that's what I loved about her honesty and just her willingness to make it work. And again, she wasn't scared. And that kind of leadership is what took us that far. And I love seeing that. And so I bug her all the time. I think she goes back and thinks about it a lot. But I love that interview.
It's one of my favorite all-time UNA moments. And, Courtney, do you remember anything about games 2 and 3 and how well you played? Did you ever feel any pressure? I mean, I think you almost hit for the cycle in the 2 games.
No, I do remember that morning before that game, the seniors went out we had our whole team breakdown, and then we pulled the seniors out, and we stood out in the outfield, and it was just us in the huddle. We were like, this is it. No matter what this game looks like, no matter what this day looks like, we made it this far. Because also we started that week, and we started that season, and it was like road to Denver. But, like, I don't know if any of us truly thought that we would actually make it all the way through that tournament to be standing in that game. And so I think a lot of times we were so hard on ourselves that we kind of lost track of the fact that we had made it that far. And regardless of what that day looked like, we had a heck of a season and a great time with each other. And so I just remember us standing out there like, whatever this looks like, we're going to lay it out. We leave here with no regrets, nothing else, but all we can say is we played our hardest, and we're going to end our softball careers on this day right here. So I honestly don't think I realized until we went back and watched it one day, and I was like, I called my dad, and I was like, dude, did you know that I hit so well in those? He was like, yeah, where were you? And I was like, I just don't think I wasn't paying attention to
I think you led the game off with a triple, if I'm not mistaken.
I remember things like the announcer, like, watching it back later, there was a home run in it that I hit, and mine was kind of like a little B shot to the outfield, like barely went over the fence, and then Clark came up behind me, hit one in the same exact spot, and the announcers were like, oh, Clark out here with the home run. That thing's out of here. And it was like, you had to show me up, Clark. Couldn't just let me have that one. Couldn't let me have it.
That sounds like Brooklyn Clark. I love talking about stuff like this because I'd never heard that story about the seniors out in the outfield. That's very powerful. The other thing I remember is we woke up that morning, the Harley Barkley graduation ceremony. It was early in the morning, and I remember seeing Hillary Carpenter that morning, and she was about the only player that looked like, okay, I'm ready to get to the field. Just a lot of focus in her face that morning. Do you remember how dominant she was?
I do, but going back to that moment, that was a special moment because we were waking up and we had lost the night before, and we knew we were going to have to play 2 games. But what I loved, and Les Studeman will tell you this at UAH, she said, y'all cannot get beat twice. Y'all are so good. There's no team in the country that can beat y'all twice. And I knew that going into it. But having that moment with Harley and her graduation ceremony, Dr. Kitts was there. That was a special moment. It kind of took our mind off, our goal for that day, but also brought us back to who we are and a family. And it was just a sweet moment. But I mean, we all knew Hillary was just so successful, and we actually go back every year, and on the national championship reunion, I actually had some girls over the past couple of years, and we watch it.
Oh, wow.
And I just remember Hillary the last time. I mean, they even knew. I mean, her best pitch was a curveball in on your hands to righties, and they even knew it was coming, and they just couldn't do anything about it. But because she just knew where to break it. I mean, she was just so smart, but she was just on it. I mean, her mentality was there, and she wasn't going to leave with anything less than a ring, and that's what she did. And we knew after that first game, we're like, she's just hot. We got to go right back with her, and we did. And they just couldn't find a solution for it.
Courtney, final out. What was your thought? I mean, do you remember the celebration in the dog pile or anything like that?
I remember I about took out an umpire when I was running in. I do remember that. But we are also terrible at dog piles. Dog piles were not our strong suit when you look back at those. I think as soon as I was like already headed into as soon as it got hit, I started running in because I was like, we got this. This is the play. I mean, easy play. And I just remember tears like automatically hitting my face because it was like, holy cow, we've done this. Like, I don't think it really truly hit me fully until like we sat down at that press conference after, and it was like, wow, this is a thing. We did this. So no, I can still feel like I still get chills when we talk about stuff like this because it's like I still have that feeling from that day.
Didn't you take the entire team to that post-game press conference?
Yes, I think all of our seniors.
It was all of our seniors.
Yes, plus Hillary. So there was, 7 of us, I think, up there? 7 or 8 of us? Mm-hmm. So there was a lot. Probably the biggest group they've ever had. But it was cool. I can go back to that and think about it. It was fun.
It's been great reliving the championship run, getting set for the reunion later today. Thank you both for taking the time to talk with us. It's always a joy when Courtney Shields can join us. And Coach Kozar, thank you for everything you do here at UNA.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's head softball coach Ashley Cozart and admissions counselor and former UNA All-American Courtney Shield. We'll take a timeout. This is the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation.
I realized that there was a lot of just business, just the day-to-day business of the chamber that I did not feel particularly comfortable in. There was an opportunity at UNA to pursue my MBA and thought that it might be a really good idea just to bolster that side of my education. Professors were so understanding and willing to work with us. I realized then I had made the right choice, that UNA was the correct institution for me. I've never talked to anyone who's gone forward with their education who regretted that decision. It's not been easy every day, but totally worth it at all times.
Welcome back into the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. I'm Benjamin Ray on a football Saturday here in Florence, Alabama. We're getting set for North Alabama to take on Charleston Southern here in just a little bit. Kickoff will be set for 2 p.m. Of course, we got the rest of the Purple and Gold Hour to go. Then Seth Kane and Jacob Tucker will join you live from Brawley Stadium for the Countdown to Kickoff show. North Alabama beat Robert Morris last Saturday 42-31. The star of the show, Parker Driggers, a redshirt freshman from Brantley, Alabama. He scored 3 touchdowns and finished with 145 rushing yards in the ballgame. He scored UNA's first 3 touchdowns of the game, including a 99-yard touchdown run, which set a North Alabama, a Big South Conference, and an NCAA collegiate record. The previous UNA record was 97 yards by Brian Satterfield against Fort Valley State in the 1993 season opener at Brawley Stadium. The previous Big South Conference record was 96 yards by Nari Gaither of Gardner-Webb last spring. Driggers had 255 all-purpose yards in the game, which included a 58-yard return on the game's opening kickoff that set up UNA's first score of the night. Driggers finished with 145 yards rushing, 14 receiving, and 96 yards on kickoff returns. Just consider this. We talk about records and what they mean. First of all, Brian Satterfield, one of the all-time greats to play at UNA. If you're a fan of UNA football, you know all about Brian Satterfield, his hard-nosed running and the triple option attack, a big part of that 1993 national championship team. But then also 99 yards, you cannot have an offensive play go longer than that. So this is a record that will stand at North Alabama forever. It will never be broken. Parker Driggers' name will forever be etched into the UNA, the Big South Conference, and the NCAA collegiate record book. Congratulations to Parker Driggers, just a redshirt freshman. There's a lot to be excited about with this UNA football program. With that excitement, earlier this week on the Chris Willis Show on 93.9 The Score at 306 Barbecue on Wednesday night, I was able to catch up with Megan Dye. Megan Dye, a familiar name for you listeners. She works in the athletic department at UNA. She's the Associate Athletic Director for Alumni, Annual Giving, and Marketing. And we're able to sit down and talk about the UNA football locker room renovation project. It was announced last Thursday prior to homecoming. Of course, we talked with Dr. Looney about that last week, but we were able to catch up with Megan and talk about ways that people can get involved and give and help out UNA football. So with that, let's roll the tape. Here's my conversation with Megan Dye, Associate Athletic Director for Alumni, Annual Giving, and Marketing with the UNA Athletic Department. So next up, we're chatting with Megan Dye, the Associate Athletic Director for Alumni, Annual Giving, and Marketing in your 8th year now at North Alabama, I believe.
8 years, it's crazy.
Megan, let's start off. Let's talk about homecoming last week. There was so much going on from all the alumni events, the Hall of Fame, the football game. Just from your perspective, how great was last week?
Oh, it was fantastic. It's probably one of the best homecomings that we've had since I've been at UNA. From the Hall of Fame that morning, we had more, former Hall of Famers come back, and that room was crowded. And you got a lot of good interviews with them, from Israel Rabin to Donald Faint and Roy Stevens. We had so many come back, and the homecoming parade was unbelievable. Like, you looked, we changed up the route this year, and we went down Pine Street and back up Court, and it was just packed. all the way down the street. It was, you could tell people were enjoying a little bit of normalcy again.
Everybody loves when Israel Rabin is around, and he's the only person in the world that could say, I won all 3 national championships.
Exactly. And you notice I said him first. He made an impact with this speech, right?
Now, for you also, you were named Friend of the University. You were honored at the gala on Friday night. You got to ride in the homecoming parade. Honored pregame. You had to take off your hat for doing all the work so you could go be honored. How special was this weekend for you picking up that honor?
It was fun. It was, I was very humbled. It was a really special thing, having not graduated from UNA, but I feel like I did. And like I told everybody, my heart's purple and gold. So it was really special to be recognized in that way and enjoy the festivities like that.
You graduated from Auburn. You grew up in the Shoals, and you probably don't get to talk about it enough, but I mean, your granddad did UNA radio. UNA's been a large part of your life.
Oh, yeah. The championship years, I was following him around and can remember the days of traveling to Arkansas, and I take those road trips with them. So it's always been in my blood and always will be.
Let's talk about some things that are happening within the athletic department. Last Thursday, Dr. Josh Looney announced that we'd be doing a football locker room renovation. The football locker room down in Self Fieldhouse being renovated. Megan, just how big is this for the football department?
Oh, it's huge. It's been a long time coming, and we're really excited about it. Those players work hard, and that the building itself was built in 1984, so it's been a very long time since it's had a good renovation. So I know it's going to be a good motivation for the student athletes, and that's their home away from home. That's their locker room all during the week, and it's going to be a place where they can go and hang out and be proud to call it their space.
The project will provide more than 115 new lockers, increased square footage, and numerous updates to the existing facility that was built in 1984. Now, there's a lot of different ways people can give. Let's talk about the locker legacy. This is something that's been going on for a long time now, but how can people get involved with this?
Right. With the current locker legacy project we've got going on, you can give online. If you go to roarlines.com/football locker room, you can see pictures of what the lockers are going to look like, what the new space is going to look like, and actually see what the nameplates will look like. Anybody that chooses to sponsor a locker for the 1984, their name will actually be on the locker of a current student athlete. So it's a really special opportunity to have your name remembered on the lifetime of those lockers, and also play a special part in giving back to the program. So they can give online at that website. You're welcome to stop by and donate in person, or you can mail a donation in to UNA Box 5113. Whatever's easiest for the individual. We're just really excited and honored to have so many that are already giving back and supporting the project.
That's what I wanted to ask you next. I mean, it's just been right at a week now that we've announced this. What's the response and the excitement level been like?
Oh, it's been great. We had somebody that reached out and sponsored one, I think, within 30 minutes of us announcing it. So, a lot of the former players, know the state of that locker room and know that, it needs some good TLC. So they're really encouraged and excited to give back and support it.
Was there a lot of buzz amongst some of the alumni that came back talking about how big this is for the program?
Oh, yes. At the Hall of Fame breakfast that morning, they were all talking about it. And from the turf project that we just completed to the locker room, I know Evan Oglesby in particular was really excited about it. So they're excited to see the program grow as we continue in Division I and to give back.
Do you know in a week's time how many people have sponsored lockers?
We have up to 10 already
That's
that have sponsored
incredible.
lockers. That's really good.
Shows a lot of support for the football program. If you're interested, visit roarlines.com for more information. Now, there's a lot happening this weekend as well. We just had Ashley Cozart on to talk about some of the softball happenings, but I know you had a lot to do with putting together the Nick Reisner, Sergeant Reisner Memorial this Friday with his daughter throwing out the first pitch. His dog's going to be there. His partner's going to receive the pitch. How excited are you for this event on Friday?
It's going to be really, really special. I mean, I know all this that happened has just really touched the hearts of our community, and I've been so glad to see how our community has rallied around this family to ensure that, his legacy is always remembered. And when the softball program first started talking about this, it's just a great opportunity because I know that was a special bond that him and his daughter had. So the fact that we can bring his family out there and his daughter and just rally around her as a UNA student and show her our support, and that, that's the true meaning of the UNA family.
That's coming up Friday, 5 p.m. at Hilda B. Anderson Softball Stadium. Then Saturday, the softball reunion, 5th year anniversary of the national championship. Courtney Shields is in the house. We tried to get her to come on air, but she always declines my interview requests. I think she's ignoring me right now. But that softball national championship run, I know it was really special for everyone. How excited are you to see so many former players back?
Oh gosh, that was just, it's crazy to think that it was 5 years ago. It was just the most incredible experience for me as an outsider, and I can't imagine the feeling that they had going through it. So, you know, it was so fun getting to know that team and watching the bond that they had. So, and to know all the starters are coming back, so many of them are going to be here for it. I know they're excited, and it's fun to see where they are in their lives now. And some of them have kids and are married, and so it's going to be a fun weekend.
Megan, is there anything else we need to know about things happening at UNA?
Just get involved. You know, it's an exciting time with our department right now, and I just encourage you to get your season tickets, come out to games, support these student athletes, because they put every bit of their heart and soul into this program, and I hope that our community will continue to get around them and support them.
Megan Dye, very well said. Thanks for chatting with us.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks once again to Megan Dye, the Associate Athletic Director for Alumni, Annual Giving and Marketing at the University of North Alabama, for joining us to talk about the UNA locker room renovation. Don't forget to visit roarlions.com/football locker room to get more information about how you can give and support UNA football. Let's keep the show moving. We'll take a timeout. It's a football Saturday, North Alabama and Charleston Southern coming up here in just a little bit. It's the Purple and Gold Hour, brought to you by the University of North Alabama Foundation.
If I had to pick one thing about UNA that made me want to come here, it would just be campus and the life that you see on campus. With UNA just being so close, that's not what I thought that I wanted. And so when I came and I realized I'm still going to have the same opportunities as someone who went to a larger university, that was one of the things that drew me in.
Benjamin Ray back with a wrap up the Purple and Gold Hour, brought to you by the University of North Alabama Foundation. This has been your spotlight and inside look at the University of North Alabama. It's been a great hour getting you set for North Alabama's football game against Charleston Southern. Coming up next, Seth Kane and Jacob Tucker will take you inside of Brawley Stadium for the Countdown to Kickoff show. North Alabama looks to build off last week's homecoming win over Robert Morris. It will be a tough test against a Charleston Southern team. I'll just tease it. They've got one of the top quarterbacks in the Big South Conference in Jack Chambers, a dual threat guy. He's top 10 in the nation in total offense. We will have our hands full with him. Charleston Southern beat North Alabama 2 years ago back in 2019, so here we are back in the 2021 season. Last year in the Big South Conference, hopefully UNA can come away with a win today. Big thanks to all of our guests in today's episode. I enjoyed chatting with everybody from admissions. We had Julie Taylor, the Executive Director of Admissions and Enrollment Innovation, Jill Chambers, the Associate Director for Admissions. Thanks to them and all the great work they do at UNA. UNA is the fastest growing four-year institution in the state. Record enrollment year after year, and no doubt about it, it starts with the hard work that they do in their roles. Don't forget Preview Day, November 13th. UNA hosts Kennesaw State, a 2 p.m. kick. They mentioned it. You get free tickets, free lunch, and a chance to win a one-year scholarship. All you have to do is show up. Be sure and visit una.edu to get more information about Preview Day, and I'm sure they'll have some social media posts as well. Thanks to Ashley Cozart and Courtney Shields for stepping by. Two of my favorite people. Coach Cozart, what a job she does with UNA softball. You can see it when people turn out that they love to come back. And Courtney Shields was the star of that team, center fielder. I never will forget her in that national championship series. The way she set the tone with that press conference that we talked about, to the way she backed it up that next day, nearly hitting for the cycle in the two games. Some people are just ballers, and you can certainly say Courtney Shields is a baller. I know they're excited to have so many former players, teammates back for the reunion this afternoon that's getting set to start inside of Brawley Stadium. And, of course, thanks to Megan Dye for stopping by to talk about the UNA football locker room renovation. Remember, you can sponsor a locker with the Locker Legacy program. Visit roarlines.com for more information on that. All right, that will do it for this week's edition of the Purple and Gold Hour. Football is off next week, but we will be back with another episode of the Purple and Gold Hour. Hey, we want to keep you informed of what's happening on campus. campus. Thanks to Michelle Eubanks and Eddie Forsyth for their work behind the scenes producing and editing this. I'm Benjamin Ray for the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Roar, Lions!
This has been the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Thanks for listening, and remember that you can catch the Purple and Gold Show 2 hours prior to every football game right here on 98.3 WLX, the home of the Lions. Roar, Lions!